Good morning, children, or afternoon or evening. I'm not sure when you will be watching this, but I decided that math probably would be best taught using videos any day that we have a new lesson introduced. So I'm going to flip it now to our book. Okay, now this is my first one, so you guys be patient with me. I wish I could see all of you right now and be teaching in the classroom. But I would like for you to turn to page 231 in your math book. And I would like for you to look at the top, Introduction to Decimals. Do you see where it says a decimal is another way to write a fraction? Please highlight that. That will be on your next test, test 13. Do you see that highlighted beside of there? And then it says in $4.32, 32 cents is a part of a dollar. It is 32 cents of the dollar. So it's 32 over 100 written as a fraction. Do you guys see that? Okay. And then a mixed decimal contains a whole number and a decimal. The number 4.3 is a mixed decimal. This is a lot of new information. Anytime we have a new concept introduced at the top, always be willing to refer back to that for a few days because I don't even remember all of this myself the very first time. I would like for you to go ahead and highlight a mixed number contains a whole number and a decimal as well. Again, that will be on test 13. Okay, let's continue on. The decimal point separates the whole number and the decimal. Okay, and the decimal point is read, sorry, I'm having a hard time saying this, is read as 4 and 3 tenths or 4.3. I find that I use the point more than I use the and, but either is correct. The number 0.3 is read as 3 tenths or 0.3. In a decimal, the farther right a number, the smaller its value. Now I need for you to highlight the ones that you see that I have highlighted. All of them but the thousandths will be on your next test 13. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is 6,903 point. See how you can use a point? And then it would be 4,417. So it is 6 1,000ths, 9 hundredths, 0 tens, 3 ones. Okay, you've seen that. That's very familiar because we did place value to the left of the decimal earlier in the year. So you see the decimal, go to the left. You've got the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the 1,000s. Remember, we worked our way all the way to the millions. Now our focus is to the right of the decimal. Okay, to the right of the decimal, you're probably thinking in your mind it needs to go ones, tens, hundreds. But it's different to the right of the decimal. It goes tenths with the THS, hundredths, thousandths, and you do not have a once at the very first. It goes to tenths, okay? And let's go on down and let's take a look at this class practice together. Okay, fill in the blanks. For additional problems, see supplementary exercises, page 333. Okay, number 1. A blank blank separates the whole number from the decimal number. Okay, as you can see, the answer to that is decimal point. And look, it's right up there. Okay, now the first place to the right of the decimal point, is the tenths. Okay, tenths, and you write it like that. Okay, the second place to the right of the decimal point is the hundredths. See the decimal, see the second place, and you write hundredths. See how that's written with the apostrophe at the end? The third place to the right of the decimal point is the thousandths. Thousandths. Okay, notice that's not going to be on this coming up test, but you will need to know that, and you will know it once you finish these lessons because it goes over and over and over that for the next few days. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Read these decimals and circle the digit in the tenths place. Okay, let's go back up here. The tenths place is to the right of the decimal. Now let's go back down here and read the definition. The first place to the right of the decimal point is the tenths place. Do you see where I've drawn that arrow? Okay, so pretty simple. The only thing you do is look for that decimal, circle the first number to the right of it. So A is going to be 3. B, that's to the right, not below. B is to the right. 0.38, it will be the 3. C, 0.621 will be the 6. D, 0.579 will be the 5. E, 0.06 will be the 6. F, 0.42 will be the 4. G, 0.781 will be the 7. And H, 12.62 will be the 6. Do you see? It's just look at the decimal, circle the number to the right of it. You really don't even have to think that much with that. Okay, now you're going to match by drawing lines. Okay, so you're going to have to think just a little bit. You're going to have to refer back up to the top and some of the things that we've learned. But if you will be patient, not afraid to look back, this will not take very long to figure this out. So do you see where there's 0.7? Okay, 0.7. Look up here. Is going to be 7/10. See, the 0.4, the 0.7, they're in the same spot. So that is 7/10. Now, do you see the 0.4? Okay, that would be 4/10. Okay, do you see the 6.2? That is, now I say I use point a lot. It just means 6 and 2 tenths. Okay, 6 is your whole number, and again, the number to the right of that decimal is tens, right? Okay, now we are at 3.8, which again, you've got that mixed decimal, you've got a whole number, and you've got a, see right here, a mixed decimal contains a whole number and a decimal. The number 4.3 is a mixed decimal. See that under number 2? We highlighted it. Okay, go down to 6.2. You have a mixed decimal. So that is going to be 6 is your whole number. And remember, any number to the right of the decimal is tenths. So that's 6 and 2 tenths. Okay, let's take a look at D. 3.8. Again, we have a mixed decimal. And that will be 3 and 8 tenths. 3 is your whole number. 8 is to the right of the decimal. So again, that's tenths. Okay, we're getting ready to see something different. You have 0.24. So that is 24 hundredths. You always say what's at the end of your second number. Do you see this says 4/10, 100, 7 thousandths? So if you were going to read that and just read the first two, that would be 41 hundredths, right? Okay, so let's come down here, and you have 24. So that is 24 hundredths. See that, guys? Okay, now we've got a 0, so there's no whole number in that mixed decimal, right, on F. And you have a 0.38. So there's nothing to the left of the decimal for a whole number. So this is 38 hundredths. Why is it hundredths? Because you have two numbers, and when you have two numbers, you call it by whatever is by the second number. Okay, then we have 0.008. I'm sorry, 0.003. Okay, so we have nothing to the left, so this is not a mixed decimal, is it? This is going to be 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. So when we have 3 numbers to the right of the decimal, we're going to call it the thousandths. Okay? So then when we come down here, that will be 3 thousandths because there's nothing in the tenths or the hundredths place. It goes 0, 0, 3. Okay? I hope that's making sense. Now that is all for today for your introduction to decimals. Please make sure that you have highlighted number 1, number 2, and then make sure you have highlighted below number 5 the 1,000ths, the hundredths, the tens, the ones, the tenths, the hundredths place. You will see that again on test 13. Do you see where I marked test 13? Okay. Now, you are going to do on your own today the review. And I think everything here is something that you have seen before. I wanted to point out one thing, and I'm wondering, actually I'm not going to point it out today because it's listed in a different format. When I see it in a different way, I'm going to tell you something about your decimal. But we will talk about, not your decimal, your remainder. But we'll talk about that next week. I keep getting mixed up. I'm sorry. We'll talk about that in a day or so. I can go ahead and tell you what I was trying to say, though. Do you see, I'm going to go back to what you did on Thursday. It's on page 228. And I want you to take a look at this, and I want to make sure you understand something. Do you see where it says use the original numerator when checking? Okay. The reason is, do you see how the original numerator is 27? But when you reduce, it goes to 3/9 and then to 1/3. Well, when you check, if you add a 1, your number is going to be very much off. So you're going to have to add your original numerator, which is the 27. If you have a question about that, just give me a quick text, email, phone call, or message me, and I'll be glad to clarify that. But I got to thinking that might be something that confused some of you. So we are back on our lesson for today, which is Introduction to Decimals. And I will plan to see you again tomorrow because we will need to talk about writing decimals as fractions. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.